Hello. Welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast. We'd like to thank our pal Tommy Chong for introducing us. And we got the whole group of people here today. We got Mike Grief.
Hey, man, welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast, man. Come on, where's Cheeks? Let's smoke a little ganji, man. Yeah.
And we got Craig Mitchell.
I've never seen somebody with a pine, what is it, a palm tree enema before?
Oh, my God, are you kidding? Are you kidding? Oh, my God. How do you not know when you cut the top off, it's going to go swing?
The blood
crazy part is, the crazy part is, that guy's about 200 feet up, right? Ugh. And when that thing is swinging back and forth, all he's thinking is, if this thing breaks off, I am dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, the safety line's not going to really do any good at that point.
And the safety crew, I heard that the safety crew couldn't even get in a position because they were too busy laughing.
Dude, that scream. That's like me when the ice cold. I don't want to talk about it. It's okay. Never mind. Let's just say I have a bidet, and in the morning that water is cold. That's all I'm saying. So that scream is very familiar.
I'm sorry, but you'd never see me, climbing a tree, whatever. It's like I can laugh because there's no way that would ever happen to me because, first of all, if I did climb that tree, it would have been bent over to the ground anyway.
Okay, what we're missing one part of this too, that while he's swinging back and forth, he has a chainsaw in his hand.
Yeah, well, that's half the fun.
Right? I mean, you don't think about that. He's got a chainsaw in his hand while that thing's going back and forth.
I think I'd be dropping that chainsaw. I'd be like, look, watch out below.
Oh, man. You mentioned you get hit.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
So, what are we doing?
What are we doing? We have a special guest this week. We're going to bring on in a few minutes. So we're very excited to have our guest with us, Jim Meskimen. But John, don't you have something you wanted to share with us?
Yeah, I was about to say. Well, first I was going to talk about how you can see us on the Big Bad Broadcast. You can see us on Roku. You can see us on the Strong Island app, which you can find on Fire Stick. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on, I believe, Twitch.
You can find us peeking into your living room window. Trust me, we're there. We're spying on you. We're watching. We're everywhere.
On the Big Bad Broadcast, yeah.
And if you go to the Strong Island app, which you'll find on your Fire Stick or your Roku, you need to scroll down because there's a list of all the shows until you see the Big Bad Broadcast.
Yes.
And you can always catch our current show and any back show that you missed on our website on the bbbbradio.com.
Always.
Right, but make sure you scroll.
Always.
Scroll. I love that word.
Always.
Scroll till you see us.
And the little news story this week, monkeys have been disappearing from zoos. People have been cutting.
It's him. You know who that is. The monkey man.
And
all I'm saying is, they've got a safe sanctuary with me. I love monkeys. You know that. I got my monkey
that Mike
army.
has got an affinity for monkeys, which all started when he found out he could have bought a squirrel monkey for $2.99 from the back of a comic book.
No, that's $17.99. Come on, if that's not a bargain.
They were $2.99 when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, come on. Then I would have dozen. Come on, who's not going to buy a monkey if you can get it for $17.99? That's a monkey. A monkey for $17.99.
I got Peanut Talk for $22.50. Dang.
Remember when we had Fred Klett on and he was talking about when he was a kid, his brothers and him all chipped in for a monkey? And then,
come on, man. Now that's something I wouldn't do. You're going to chip in on a monkey? Just buy a monkey, man. Just buy a monkey. You don't need to chip in on it.
When he was in school over the PA, would go, with one of the Klett boys come to the office, your mother's on the phone, the monkey stuck in her hair.
You know what's really funny about that? If you saw the movie The Fabelmans,
matter of fact, I just got it. I just got the screen. I just got the screener. I haven't got to watch it yet.
Oh, they all die in the end.
It's really great.
All of them. It's really tragic.
I haven't gotten the whale.
Well, then it's a comedy. I hope so. I can't wait to watch it.
I haven't gotten the whale yet. So
you won't get the whale.
Why not?
It's not on screeners. At least I know. I had to. Get it on the computer and then I cast it. I watched it on the TV, but it's not. You don't get a screener for the whale. But let me tell you something. That's it's going to win the Academy Award for me anyway. I think that's going to Brendan Fraser is going to win the Best Actor. I'm predicting that right now for The Whale. The Whale, Craig. If you haven't seen it, it's going to affect you.
It's not seen it. I've lived it.
Okay,
it's my nickname.
No. Well,
whale.
I don't want to give anything away, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of I don't know.
Don't get on there here. So before we bring our guest on, John, did you want to share something that's
the book?
My big news. So we all know David Crosby died like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I had the pleasure of working with these guys for like 10 years. And a new book came out by Francesco Lucarelli from Rome. And it took him 8 years to put this book together. And here it is right here.
Yeah,
it's a pretty big book. It's called Music is Love. It's the ultimate collection of CSN stuff. And the big exciting part for me is I have a chapter in here about me being on the road with them.
That's awesome.
And I have 3 photo credits. I have a picture that I took of Dave and his wife at the wedding in Graham Nash's backyard. And I got a picture of the invitation, which was a T-shirt that says, "We're getting married and you're not." And I got a picture of when I did the Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young reunion tour. So it's really good. You get the book on Amazon if you want. He's a good guy. Worked really hard, 8 years to do the book.
So I got to go all the way to the Amazon to get the book?
No, or you can just go to the bookstore, look up page 122 and read my chapter like my son did.
Yeah. And remember, John doesn't get any royalties from this. So when you buy the book, send John $5. That's all we go. Yeah.
I don't send me $5 and I'll send it to John.
I get the pleasure of being a part of history.
That's right. It's the chapter's called Ferentino, The Dark Years for CSN.
The chapter is called 24 Fireballs.
Okay. All right. So our guest has been waiting patiently. Let's bring him in.
Yes, let's do that.
All right. Because he's on a lot of stuff.
I'm excited about what he does.
We have a lot to talk about, and he's a very busy man. But he's very TikTok famous, and that's where I actually got introduced to his talent. And he released a TikTok last night. He's an impressionist. He's an actor. He's a comedian. He does a lot of things, but this is hilarious. So look at it. Look at the TikTok that he released just last night. Here it is.
All right, Jim. So how you feeling before this impressions off against the AI?
Well, I'm a little worried because AI has come a long way, and this could affect my whole career. So
yeah, well, all right. Well, let's start with the first impression. Yeah. Good luck. Let's do Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. Okay. I don't have to put up with this indignity. He's the robot. I'm real.
Okay, AI, your turn. Give it a go.
Tommy Lee Jones.
No, you're supposed to do an impression of
Tommy Lee Jones.
An impression of him, not just.
I don't have to put up with this indignity. He's the robot. I'm real.
I'm not worried anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our very special guest, Jim Meskimen.
Hey.
Here he comes. He's coming in. And there he is. There's his name.
There's his name.
And
there he is.
Wow. He's in that padded cell.
There you go. Look at it. He's in a loop. He's in a looping studio. Are you doing some looping?
Yeah, I've been looping your whole broadcast so far. I did all the voices.
Yeah, I think now he's going to do Maximilian Schell, the man in the glass booth. Thank you very much.
That was a great film. I love that film.
Yeah, well, it is actually. How are you, sir? How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, this is where I spend a lot of my time. I am working on various things. You know, I do Colonel Sanders' voice for your TV and your radio commercials. That's been
really?
No, that's been my day job for quite a while. So I spend time in here, talking to them fellers, and I believe it's Boston now. It used to be up there in Portland, but now it's in Boston, doing them commercials. You see.
Wow, I keep you guys in business.
I am hungry.
You're the one.
Yeah, man. When I go on a diet, I get a letter from the colonel. Hey, Mike,
hey,
geez, you're hurting us here, pal.
And you get thanks from the chickens.
Thanks a lot.
You have. I got to tell you, I was looking, in preparation. I decided to go to IMDb, which is very humbling because I have all of like 28 credits. And you have like over 290 credits.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Geez, I think I only got about 8 in the 80s, 86 or 87, 200 and something. Man, what did you start as an embryo?
Well, I did.
But you've done a lot of work. You've worked with some of my pals, my good buddy Clint Howard. I know you've worked with him, and I guess Ron.
Many times. I've been in 5 of Ron Howard's films, and Clint was in all of them. Sure, somewhere.
Yeah, I've known Clint for about 30 years, man. He's a great guy.
Great guy. Yeah, I saw him when he went on his book tour, the terrific book that he and his brother
wrote. With the boys.
We
matter of fact, I got to call him and get my copy.
Yeah, that's a great book. It's a great. It
is.
The preparation that they actually did when they were children, especially the practicing for the auditions, brilliant.
Did you go to school with those guys? Because I mean, obviously, you must be from the same. No.
Ron is probably about 5 years older than I am, and we were in different neighborhoods. I mean, they were in Burbank. I was in Tarzana.
Burbank,
so we would only get together really and see each other on Friday nights when we would try to kill each other with zip guns and lead pipes.
There you go.
And as you can imagine, the Howard brothers were probably, some of the meanest, most.
The Howard brothers will take you down. They will take you down.
Blood everywhere. When you think gang violence, you think Ron and Clint Howard.
Especially Clint, man. Let me tell you something. Yeah.
When you think gang violence.
But you started as a child actor with just like they did?
I did not. My intention when I was in my childhood was I was interested somewhat in performing, but I didn't really understand what was going on there too well. But I did like to draw. I was a cartoonist, and that was my first career. So I drew. I was the kid that drew for the newspaper and the yearbook, and that was my early life goal, was to be. Actually, I kind of like the idea of a political cartoonist, because I used to read the funny papers, and I'd look at the editorial page and see Paul Conrad's work and other guys' work, and I thought, they're drawing, they're grown-ups, that's how they make their living. I think that's what I'd like to do.
Wow.
That's what I did in high school. I had a comic book that I used to put out
called
The Adventures of Half Man. Hampered by a few physical handicaps. Blind, crippled, and crazy.
Wow.
Very politically correct now.
Oh, man, yeah. People love retard comics, yeah.
Oh man. I was going to say that's the brand, It's not Marvel.
It's comics. Hold, please. We have a lot of
that was some pretty funny stuff. You get to this big fight scene, and they would go, "What are you going to do?" And he goes, "What can I do?"
What did you draw with?
I just did it with like pencil and
crayon.
Crayon. I was a pretty good drawer. It's very funny because I think anyone who can draw a little bit wants to be a cartoonist. And I remember I drew all of these cartoons, and then I showed them to someone. They went, "Well, where's your original ones?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know I needed original ones. I guess I thought I'd just sign on as like a staff drawer."
Wow.
An artist.
What made you want to get into acting then? I mean, obviously you're from LA, so and but I find that a lot of the people who live in LA kind of shun away from that, but what interested you to start acting? I mean, God, what 200 and something credits.
Yeah, I think it's over 300 now.
304.
I nothing fancy. I mean, my mom is an actress. I saw The World, and I got very confused about it, actually, because, my mom was on a hit show, and I met Ron Howard, and I saw these guys, and there she is.
For anyone who doesn't know, Marion Ross.
That's my mom, Mrs. C. She is my biological, absolutely dyed-in-the-wool mom. So, so I was obviously, attracted to The World and the fun of it. And I'd done plays and stuff. I like performing. I like doing voices, which is what I mainly do now. But I hadn't made a full commitment to it. And then I actually went really, really deep on art. And after becoming a professional, I was a professional a little bit in the world of cartooning. I worked for Hanna-Barbera for a while. Then I went back to the university and I studied art, and I studied sculpture and printmaking and all that stuff. And then I actually went to Spain and studied classical oil technique for a couple of years.
Wow.
And
I was just going to ask real quick, did you draw any of the famous Hanna-Barbera characters that we know?
Oh, well, I worked on things for a lot of Hanna-Barbera characters. Yeah.
That's so freaking cool. That to me, that's awesome.
Yeah. And well, wait till I tell you what I did after I got back from Spain. But when I was in Spain, I studied classical oil painting. And during that time, I had an epiphany that, well, I do love painting and I also like performing, but painting is a very isolated, kind of lonely profession. Not unlike... Yeah. I found myself in later life. But so on the strength of that epiphany, I moved to New York to become an actor. And one of the first jobs I got, I knew that I had to, you don't just land in New York and get an acting job. I auditioned a lot. I looked for an agent. I went through a couple of years of not doing anything. But during that time, I supported myself as a cartoonist, as an illustrator. Yeah. And one of the first jobs I got, or the first really good job I got there, was designing cartoon characters for Thundercats. And you guys are probably too old to know what Thundercats was or be fans of it. But in the 80s, Thundercats was, a pretty big deal. And I designed all the secondary characters. The main cast was already designed, but I designed all the weapons and vehicles. Wow. And
Thundercats, that ran on Broadway for years, Thundercats.
That's right.
That's the wrong Thundercats.
It's a really wonderful cool animated T.S. Eliot show. Terrific.
It's still, and Thundercats, man, has a super loyal following. They're always calling for a reboot, and they want a live action and all.
Yeah, that's right. And I've been in 2 of the reboots as a voice actor. Nice. And I look forward to being in many more.
New York is a tough town to make it in. I mean, that's where we all started in New York. And like I said, I started as a stand-up and then got into, my friends like Louis C.K. and Jon Stewart started getting shows, and I started doing sketches for them. But commercials, though, is where I made the money. It was shoot a lot of commercials in New York.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that was a great time for making money in commercials.
Yeah, I didn't get a copy of it, but I saw that you had one where you played George Washington crossing the Delaware. Very funny. I wanted to ask you the very last line of that, when they hit the boat or something, you said something. Did you ad-lib that? Because it was very funny. I'm sorry I didn't have a copy of it.
Probably I did. I ad-libbed quite a bit for that because, there wasn't a whole lot. So, yeah, thank you.
Well, you were on
for Geico.
Yeah. You were on Whose Line Is It Anyway on the English edition. So I wasn't, I know you're funny because I see your TikToks. You're very funny. But did you do stand-up? Because I know improv and stand-up is kind of close, but not the same thing.
Yeah, no, I really didn't. I dabbled in it a little bit, but only to kind of be a space holder for other things, other people. But I respect stand-up a lot. I know it's a very specific art form. I have a lot of respect for people that do it and pursue it. But no, I did improv, I did commercials, and I did a lot of voice work in New York. Well, and I didn't do Broadway. I did some one-act plays, but I kept pretty busy doing those things.
Well, improv is in a lot of ways is a lot scarier than stand-up, because stand-up, at least you're scripted. The improv, you never know what's going to get thrown at you.
Yeah.
I guess, I had a really great indoctrination and training in improv, so I always felt very, very confident, particularly, after I got my feet wet and started performing a lot. For me, stand-up is really scary because what you guys do, you go in front of a bunch of strangers who are in various degrees of being inebriated and test out material in an atmosphere where it is almost traditional to be heckled. So I find that a lot more unnerving.
Look at Mike. Do you think he ever was heckled in his life?
I've been heckled once or twice. Trust me, they regretted it immediately.
I don't get heckled either.
You're a magician. Magicians don't get heckled.
Yeah.
How much
pigeon out of your ass?
Like the way you go, I'm a magician. How much magic do I do in 45 minutes? 3 tricks?
Well, but the thing is, though, John, the trick, and not to take away from our guest, with you though, you see, it's you don't focus on, but the tricks you do are incredibly professional. It's almost like you throw it away, but you do it so well.
Yeah, but because I concentrate on just the comedy.
Yeah.
So the creator of Half Man doesn't go halfway.
That's right. He goes. But so I was going to ask you now, do you do a stage show for all your voices? Because I mean, you're just you're incredible with the voices, and I'd like. Do you have a stage show that you're doing with all the characters?
Thank you. I am rebooting my stage show after the glorious pandemic, and
Yes.
we'll be putting it up soon in LA. But I had it going for a while. I had a viral video in 2011 that sort of came out of the stage show, and then I had all kinds of opportunities arise out of that. I had a little bit of a tour in Australia. I got into America's Got Talent, and I got a series, actually a cable series that eventually evolved into called called Impress Me, which is now even in this great day of streaming is tied up in some sort of financial litigation. You can't see it anywhere except my Vimeo channel. I like the stage show because it is a little bit stand-up comic-ish in that mostly the voices tend to skew towards comedy, but I do some dramatic moments too. So I'm not a gag writer particularly. I think I write maybe 2 gags in the whole thing, but the rest of it is more poems and humorous things, humor, rather than comedy.
Right.
Well, I love your De Niro.
Thank you very much.
George Bush is great.
George Bush. He used to was president of the United States. Now he's
he never really was.
Artist.
They just told him he was.
They told, you walk out here, stand there where that X is on the ground. No, not that X, the other one. That's the one where the sandbag's going to come down.
Yeah, I remember seeing the video. You had a viral video where you were just reeling off impression after impression, and on TikTok, and it got over 5 million views in 5 days. Is that true? Is that how many? Am I right?
I've lost track. But yeah. I mean, that was in 2011 there was no TikTok, so I had YouTube, and I had my video was Shakespeare and celebrity voices that did very well and made got a lot of attention. And we've been kind of repurposing some of those older videos. There's one that has a deep fake aspect to it where my face actually changes subtly and not so subtly into different celebrities, and that one did very well on TikTok not long ago. I don't know, maybe 8 million views now.
Well, as a peer, I want to thank you because TikTok has always been like the quote unquote young people app, but I think as people of a certain age, of our age, we have something to share on TikTok too, and you're certainly dominating with your channel, and I love it. It's a lot of fun, man.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, it's taken me quite a while to wrap my wits around the freaking platform. Just in time, I think, for it to be made illegal by the United States government.
There you go.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's another story. I really think that's part political. I think other platforms like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram are like they can't compete, and they're pushing whoever they push in Washington to get that done. I think. I'm not really sure.
That sounds likely to me.
Yeah, no.
You said something that sounds interesting to me. You said you do Shakespeare as your characters.
Yeah.
So it's like, can we hear some of that? I mean, or is it?
Oh, sure.
I'd love to hear some of that.
Who do you want? Give me somebody to start with.
Do that. The Romeo, the whole.
No, I think he needs a celebrity.
I need the celebrity. I got the
celebrity.
Can you do Romeo? Just
yeah, right. Well, it'd be too easy to say Patrick Stewart because he is a Shakespearean actor. So let's go with
right.
Let's see. How about Morgan Freeman?
Methought that I had broken from the tower and was embarked across to Burgundy, and in my company my brother Gloucester, who from my cabin tempted me to walk upon the hatches. Hence we looked toward England and conjured up 1,000 heavy times, during the wars of York and Lancaster upon us. Yeah, tough times.
How about Robin Williams?
Oh, I love Rob Williams.
We thought that. And as we walked upon the giddy footing of the hatches, methought that Gloucester stumbled and struck me, who thought to stay him overboard, into the thundering billows of the main. Oh, Lord, what pain it was to drown. What dreadful noise of water in mine ears, what sights of ugly death within mine eyes. Methought I saw 1,000 fearful wrecks, 10,000 men with fishes gnawed upon, wedges of gold, heaps of pearl, inestimable stones, all scattered in the bottom of the sea.
That's great.
I am such a pushover. I love impressions, man. Yours is what I love about your impressions is you do impressions that not everybody does, like Ian McCullen, and I can't say his name right, and stuff like
McClellan, isn't it?
McClellan, right? And also
it's actually McKellen.
McKellen.
I don't know.
There you go.
I'll just call him Magneto. Can I do
You
that?
can call him Sir Ian.
Just call him Gandalf. Gandhi.
I mean, I was at a comedy competition once, and I don't know. Do you know Ross Marquand?
Very well. I did a series with Ross.
The thing is, he had a video I think on YouTube where he was like all these different characters talking to each other, and I loved it. And he came walking towards me at the bar, and I went, "Oh my God!" And I went over to him, and he I started going, "Your impressions, they're amazing," and I'm just doing that kind of stuff, and he goes, "Oh, I thought you were." At first, I thought you were just like a Walking Dead fan. Oh, that's cool. But no,
he got to be quite famous. Yeah, we did a series together called "Impress Me" about two impressionists.
Oh, that's okay.
And it was a lot of fun. And he's a marvelous impressionist, but also just a really good actor. So he got quite famous with the Walking Dead.
Yeah, he did the Red Skull. He actually did the Red Skull in the Infinity War saga.
Yeah, the Red Skull. It was a wonderful opportunity.
There you go.
Wow.
But no,
I'm jealous of that one.
But I got to play a German recently on Hunters, that Al Pacino Nazi hunting show,
right?
And you can see it in season 2. I play a judge at this tribunal where they are trying Adolf Hitler, and it was a lot of fun to do this.
Wow. And I heard it was just renewed for a final season 3 too. Is that correct?
I was just watching Judgment at Nuremberg yesterday. That's funny you bring that up.
Yeah, season 3. I kind of doubt that.
Really? Maybe they're saying season 2 is the final season. I don't know.
Yeah, season 2 which they just dropped. I think that's it. I think it ends.
Right. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Just thinking.
Well, they're not having me back, so I don't care. You know what I mean?
I'm done.
I did my thing.
I'm done. I'm done.
I'm done. All right. You know, what do you want me to do? I just sentence state off Hitler.
Well, I mean, you've been. I mean, so we shared your picture of your mom, Marion Ross. I'm assuming that you were probably on the set of Happy Days back in the heyday, probably when you were about my age, about 15 or 16.
Enjoying some craft services.
Yeah.
I don't remember Crafty too well, but yeah, I used to go to the show when I could drive. I mean, it did 11 seasons. So it was from, I think I was 12 when they did the pilot, and went through, it was a big swath of my time and her time. But when I could drive from the Valley, I would go on Friday nights and watch them tape. And that
where did they tape?
Paramount.
Paramount. Okay.
Stage 19, excuse me.
Crazy.
And it was such an
iconic show. It's an iconic show.
It is. I was wondering, did you ever have any parts? Did they ever put you in the background? Did you?
No, I had a role. I did it. That was my first professional acting job, and as it happens, I still can't quite believe it, but that particular episode is quite famous because it's the one where Fonzie jumps the shark.
I was going to guess that.
I was thinking that as you were saying it.
I'm a young man on the beach who runs by with another young man who happens to be the director's son, Jerry Paris' son, Andy.
Nice.
And Donnie Most stops us. What's going on? Where are you going? And I say, they got a shark out there. They got it pinned up until Marineland can come and pick it up. Come on, Bobby, let's go. And
let's go look at it.
Yeah. So
I played the shark.
Takes a lot of practice to play a shark.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's like, I think that episode gets hammered too much. I mean,
here's the thing. Here's the thing that I discovered, which is kind of interesting, because jump the shark now has a meaning, right? It's a phrase. And it seems to me to imply that a show has overstayed its welcome and is a bit stale and is now going to extra lengths and stunt casting
to stay current.
To stay current. They're doing a musical version, whatever. But that in Happy Days' case, that was actually season 5.
Yeah, it didn't exactly hurt the show, did it?
It had 6 more years to go yet.
6 more years to go, baby. That's a lot of sharks.
I don't even know they didn't even have Pinky Tuscadero yet, I don't think. I'm not sure.
Oh, no, Pinky Tuscadero was very early on. I think Pinky Tuscadero was the first. This is really trivia, right? Just because it's my childhood, I happen to know that she was in the first multi-camera episode.
She was. Oh my God, that would be season 3, right? Or the end of season 2.
Yeah, right.
Beginning the end of season 2, they did a live camera. They wanted to experiment to see how it would work, and then in season 3, they started doing. Yeah,
Greg, you know a little too much about this.
We don't want to make this all about Happy Days, but
I'm just curious.
No, but I'm just saying it's like, I got a Happy Days question. Was Henry Winkler as nice as he seems to be now?
Henry Winkler is very nice. He's a very diplomatic man.
Nice.
He's caring. He's warm. He will talk to anyone.
He does.
So yeah,
I was fortunate enough to work with him once. I worked with him with Clint. We did I did a thing with Clint called the Clint Howard Variety Show, which was we did it in the backyard of one of Rance's houses in Burbank. Rance, Gene, but so we had this variety show, and it's like Ron was producing it for this whatever it was. It was like when the internet was just starting to, and so I was his announcer bouncer. But we'd have in this little dumpy backyard in Burbank, we had bigger celebrities than they had on the Tonight Show. We had like Henry, we had Adam Sandler, it was just the funniest thing.
Oh man,
yeah, it's like every time you see Henry Winkler on anything, you go, geez, he seems like the nicest guy you've ever seen in your life.
He really, and when I met him, and I'm sure you met him way more than me, but when I met him, he was just the nicest guy you can meet.
He was. He saw a picture for me. He said, "Craig, you're great." I'm like, how does he know? He actually did.
I heard he's a liar, though.
Thanks. The reason why we ask it, I'm being honest. When I saw all the things you've done on IMDb, and then I saw that you have this webpage, JimWorkingActor.com, and it's somebody who has the credits to back up what you're doing. I was wondering if you can explain a little bit what you do with that course.
Yeah, during the pandemic, or just prior to it, actually, I was approached by a company that does online courses, and they suggested that I do something about being, getting into Hollywood and working as an actor and stuff. And, I've been doing it for 35 years. I've earned my living as an actor all that time and supported my family and, put my daughter through school and all that stuff. So, and I've done it as an actor of one kind or another. So I put together, it was very difficult to put together, but the thing that made it easy was that all during the time I've been working, I've been very conscious of what I've been doing to create the amount of success that I've had. And when I, stumble on something or strive towards something that's helpful, I make note of it and I continue to repeat it so that I can continue to keep working and stuff like that. So I've kept very careful records of the things that I do. And so it makes it easy to let people know about and to transfer it to other people so they can do it too. And so in the course, which is, as you said, available at JimWorkingActor.com, you can find out about all these tried and true methods that I've used and continue to use to get work and work in Hollywood.
And
here's the important question. Here's the important, because my career, I've kind of like, since the pandemic, I put it on a shelf and, especially in the beginning and whatever. So here's the important question. Can you introduce me to your agent? No, I'm no, but I want to start, what advice, and now should I just go to your course or can I get a little free advice? So just gearing it back up, I do want to get a new agent because I'm not thrilled with my agent, but what would be the process, do you think, to and I have a good resume, but I haven't worked in, say, 5 years. What would you say would be a good stepping stone back into the business?
Well, I guess, The thing is, in your case and in anybody who's starting off, is the idea is to, first of all, take full ownership and responsibility for this endeavor. It's not that a lot of people think, well, I just got to get an agent and I get a good agent and I'll be fine. The agent will get me this, and people will give me things and I will receive things. And if you can get to be on with your mindset, with your intention, decide that you're going to make it happen, that you're going to be the one in charge, you're going to be the kind of the driver of this train, you'll be in better shape than seeking some agency or some individual who is going to open a door for you.
Right.
And to carry on further with that a little bit and this is absolutely free. You should start creating. These days, it's very easy to shoot a little scene, to do a little speech, to make a video and be an actor. You can actually be an actor. You understand?
Because the nature of the business has changed so much. I used to win my roles in the room, and now most auditions they're on the computer like this. And it's just not the same.
Exactly. But you can still, that's what people do. The auditions are like that. Okay, that's a performance. And you can, before you have any auditions, you can still do performances. And you can let people know about them. You can post them. You can send them to casting and say, hey, not for nothing, or put them on your Actors Access site or your YouTube channel. And really the sky's the limit there. So you can create characters. You can, develop that. A lot of people have done that. And the good thing about that is that people might see it. Somebody who could be part of your team might see it and might want to engage with you. The other thing, it just makes you feel like you're doing your job, which it is. It's a lifelong thing. It's a thing that you have to you have to invest yourself in, I've done so much material for nothing, for free.
Yeah.
My YouTube channel has thousands of videos, very creative, very hardworking things that I've spent hours doing that I've received very little money for, if anything, pennies. But for me, it makes me feel like I'm engaged. And if someone ever says, for example, hey, do you have a sample of yourself doing such and such a thing? I've got it. I can send them a link and it's there. Okay. I've done that many times. And, with my impressions and so forth, it's good to have a big portfolio like that. But just get busy doing what it is you think you like to do.
Well, thank you. That's really great advice. And I will.
Because, Mike, nobody ever said ever, I don't like my agent.
What I'm hearing is I shouldn't go down personally and threaten people and tell them if they don't
not anymore.
Not as an opening parry, no.
And your agent watches this show and he just dropped his coffee. You realize that?
That's basically how this whole podcast started, because we were all during the pandemic, we needed
creative outlet,
creative and be funny once a week, and
this was the best you could do. I see.
This is the best we could do.
Well, me and Craig were starting to work on we were doing a sketch comedy kind of a thing, but it didn't.
It was really tough getting together in the same room during a pandemic. Some people were vaccinated, some people weren't. That was kind of hard to do. But I wanted to ask, as far as going to your website, jimworkingactor.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they can take the course online. It's done.
It's videos and an ebook. And then there's also, if you poke around on that site, I believe you can find. I've got one course on voice acting, and I even have a course in impressions.
Wow. Nice. I was going to ask about the impressions because I used to do a lot of them as a kid and growing up and develop and I haven't done too many in years, but so it's like, how do you find it comes easy, or do you have to really work on a character? Like, if you decide I'm going to go after this celebrity voice and then work, or do you find they come naturally to you?
Well, it's different with everybody. Like you said, I don't even have to do any Patrick Stewart, and people go, "Oh, that's a great Patrick Stewart impression." So, some are like falling off a log, but no, I'm always looking around. It's because it's a personal interest of mine, voices and how people talk and how they express themselves. So, I didn't start off this life, as I think I explained, thinking, wow, I really want to have a someday, a blue tuxedo and be in a room in Vegas and do the Rich Little thing. Never really felt that way. but I was interested in people's personalities and voices. So for me, it's always just it's a little bit of a hobby that I've turned into a career. And so some things are, I'm very familiar with my own equipment and what I have to do to replicate certain sounds, and I experiment around a lot. And there's some that are out of reach, frankly, quite a few that that's not for me. It's some other impressionist to be able to do that one.
What's your favorite impression that you do?
Well, it kind of depends on the people I'm with. So I think you guys like Robin Williams a lot, so I guess that's my favorite.
Yeah.
And I've been able to do that a lot for Disney.
I love Christopher. There's a lot of people that do Christopher Walken, but it still is my favorite. I just love,
because he's just funny to even listen to.
It's his cadence, I think.
Do you remember the thing they did on Saturday Night Live? They had the Christopher Walken family reunion.
Yeah,
everyone on the show.
They all spoke like him.
Yeah.
I saw another really funny one recently on Saturday Night Live. I think it was on TikTok. Maybe it was on Instagram. I don't know. But it was a census taker comes to a door in New York.
My favorite bit of all time.
And this guy,
yes, I saw that. Yes,
my
God, favorite bit of all time.
You know what we need? We're gonna make promos with celebrities, like all the celebrities we've had on the show. Do a little promo. We should just have Jim.
Yeah,
just stay in all the voices.
Welcome. My favorite line. Wait, my favorite line on that bit you're talking about is when he goes, "How many people live in this apartment?" And he goes,
60. No, 80 people. That sounds like a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's my wife and a tiger. Oh, yeah. I guess I overshot that.
No, he says, I just watched it. He says, no, there's, that seems like a lot, right? Let's see. There's my wife. There's me. Our plants. And we got a couple of candy bars.
Right, candy. You can't count candy bars.
Candy bars.
And the guy who was interviewing him, he was that guy from Saturday Night Live. He was really good in that too. He was really funny without laughing. Without laughing in that, I mean,
I wouldn't have wanted to be the guy in the scene.
Yeah,
I wanted to roll it back because we were talking about Robin Williams, and you've done it quite a few times for Disney.
Right. The Blue Genie. I started doing the Blue Genie for different things, ancillary things that Robin didn't want to do when he was alive. So he actually signed off on my voice, which was kind of flattering. And then, so I've done that for parades and video games and AI stuff.
That's incredible.
But
the thing is, Jim, your impressions, if I may, I think what really makes you stand above, and I'm telling you, I'm like
all those high heels.
Impressions. No, he's very, very nuanced. Would you say now? What?
You said what makes him stand above? I said it's those high heels.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the kinky boots. And no, but you're very nuanced. I mean, a lot of impressionists when they do Robin, they're like, "Oh, look, it's me." But you take it down, and you have all the semblance of it, and it's even more impressive to me.
Oh, that's very kind. Well, I'm a very perceptive person, and I like the subtleties. I dig it.
I think that's what makes them good. Is you got to almost know the personality of the person and just get into that character, and you definitely capture that.
Thank you. The one who does is George W. Bush. The facial expressions go with every word.
How's that now? Sorry, I missed part of that.
Do George W. Bush saying "Welcome to the Big Bad
thing." I can't get this thing to work.
Yeah, do that. Do George Bush. Welcome everyone to the Big Bad Broadcast.
Welcome everybody to the Big Bad Broadcast.
I love it. I feel like I'm the president now.
Do any comedians? Do you do any comedians?
I would do some, but I don't think I'd get any respect.
Hey, I'll tell you, I don't get no respect. You know what I'm saying? Nice. Okay, all right.
Yeah. No, there's one impression. Maybe we can get your view on this. Excuse me. There's one impression that Mike does that's absolutely spot on. I would love to see your reaction to it. He does Tommy Chong, who introduced.
Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, do Tommy Chong for me.
I was going to say I'm not like him. If you put me on the spot, I'll see if I can.
There you go.
Hey man, every time I do no, that's Cheech. I do Cheech and Chong.
It's a hybrid.
Yeah,
hybrid.
No, let's see, Tommy.
Hey
man, welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast, man. Now, see, I'm not doing it well because I'm like,
I put
you
you
did it. It shouldn't be as nerve-wracking when you did it in front of Tommy Chong.
I did. I made Tommy Chong laugh with it.
I mean, that would be a little more nerve-wracking, I would think.
Yeah, Tommy Chong checking his speakers for reverb. Seriously.
I don't do any impressions at all except for Ray Romano.
Hey, man, you gave all our money to the hamburger dude. No, man. Every time I do coke, man, you get in there every time I do coke trip, man.
There you go.
Nice.
When you do Ray Romano, you just do Kermit the Frog and take it down a notch.
I can do
Kermit the Frog here.
When Ray used to call, when my kids were little and Ray would call the house, my son would go, Dad, you know your friend that sounds like Kermit the Frog? He called all the time.
And so coming up, you're appearing, and now this that it's going to be last night because this show debuts on Fridays. So just last night, so we could say February 2nd, Groundhog's Day, you were on Young Sheldon.
Young Sheldon, yeah, and I'm on. You can see me in Gaslit.
Oh yes, I have a picture of that.
Stars with Sean Penn and Julia Roberts. I'm in Welcome to Chippendales.
Oh yeah, that's just they're showing that on Paramount, I believe, right?
That's you with Sean Penn.
Also on Hulu, so you can check that out. And there was another one. Oh, American Auto. I'm recurring on American Auto on NBC.
Very funny show.
And I've got a new series that hasn't come out yet, but we're already going to start shooting season 2 this month. It's called The Big Door Prize. And that's with, if you know the Irish actor Chris O'Dowd. He's marvelous. And I get to work with him quite a bit. So that's The Big Door Prize, which eventually will be released on Apple, maybe in March. I don't know.
He was in Bridesmaids.
He was in Bridesmaids, indeed. And he's in a wonderful show an English show called The IT Crowd, which is so funny. If you haven't seen it, it's fantastic. And it's really, really, really great sitcom-y kind of show.
Yeah, like he plays great characters. And and I am available. So if you need.
I understand you don't have an agent, though, that you like.
Loves him.
How does that work? How does that work for you? You don't have an agent you like. I mean, somebody wants to give you a job. What do they do? They're going to call you directly or what?
No, they call hey, how you doing? No, I still go through the agent, but I'm just trying to
he's just trying to get rid of him.
Is your agent pardon me, is your agent in that building behind you? Is that his office?
That's his, yeah. He just moved up to those. Yeah, that's his nice. That's his new and improved office.
That's nice. That's nice. No, that's good. It looks real clean.
It's that element of class.
Element, yeah, it's an element, yeah, a class.
There you go. He represents all the rats in the neighborhood.
But it's like I said, it's wonderful to see these impressions, but you're a lot more than that, as you've shown. And I asked you what your favorite impression was. Is there any one impression that you are most proud of that you worked on the hardest? That's what I wanted to ask, because that's a tough one.
No, boy, that's a good one.
They're all nuanced, so I would imagine there's probably one that was the most challenging.
The one that was the hardest to nail down. Is that what you're asking him?
Doesn't sound like it. That sounds like a different question, but well, I'll tell you this story. This comes to mind, and then I got to go. But years ago in New York, when Gregory Peck was still alive, there was an advertising agency that hired me to come in and do a bunch of demos for a campaign about, I think, Visa. And they were wanting to pitch it to Gregory Peck, like, hey, or to and also to Visa, say, here we would do this thing with Gregory Peck. And so I tried my best to try to get that Gregory Peck cadence and sound. And of course, Gregory Peck's voice is much deeper than mine, so I had to sneak in close to the mic and say Visa, And I thought, I really want to get this job for Gregory Peck. I have so much respect for him. It would be so cool to say, well, he got that job because I did the demos. But as it happened, for whatever reason, it never went beyond that point. But so that was one where I was trying very hard to match that sound. It was
Gregory
really
Peck.
Pretty out of my range, but I had a lot of, I just wanted to make it happen for him.
But Jim, thank you so much for being here. It's a thrill to meet you.
Great.
Absolutely,
yes. Him and Gaslit. It's Gaslit, right?
And Hunters,
and also Young Sheldon. Remember, even though it was on yesterday, you can watch it on the streaming networks. So you can watch it on Paramount Plus. There you go.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. It's fun. Take care.
Thank you. All right. Take care.
All right,
bye.
be well. See you around. See you around the neighborhood. All right.
Take care.
Hey, bye.
All right. I'll be seeing you on your course.
I'm gonna go off now.
All right.
I'm gonna push the button now.
Push your button.
That's great.
He is fun.
He nailed it. He nailed all those voices, man. I love that Gregory Peck at the end. He kind of like a throwaway. He doesn't even do it, but it was spot on. It was excellent.
It's so hard to do. All I do is dumb cartoon voices. That's it. But
I think that if I worked really hard, I could get a few, not like he does, but I could get some. It's a matter of just really have to study obviously it comes a little easier to him, but if I studied the characters
he didn't disappoint either, because when I watch him on TikTok, I'm thinking this guy seems like a really super nice guy. And he is. It's exactly what I expected. And
no, because if he was a super nice guy, he would have said, I'm going to call my agent for you. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wait, I'm just getting a text here, Mike.
No, actually, that was really good advice he gave, and I really appreciate it. There was and he's absolutely spot on, right? You got to just take the initiative and get out there and do the work. And
I got an idea. No, that was my phone. It's true. I mean, I do my cooking show. It's kind of like that. I have 106 episodes. If somebody ever wants to say, "Hey, Craig, do you have a picture of you with a hamburger?" I'm like, "Yeah, right here."
What are the odds somebody's going to ask you for a picture with a hamburger?
You got a picture of you in an air fryer? There you go.
A hamburglar.
Mike, you got a picture of you strangling somebody? Yeah, I got that.
Exactly.
I was thinking when he's going, put together videos. All I kept thinking is all your videos that you have on TikTok about being in prison.
The resident of the state.
Yeah, you can definitely share those.
I've thought about that. You know what? It's like it's a laziness. I really have to get on because there's so many things I've written. There's so many things, so many characters that I could film and do whatever. And I actually have a nice film camera. It's my wife's, but could film some great stuff. And I just got to get off my ass and do it.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
So, and anything else before we go, or?
I think that's it. I think we had a good time. I had a great guest.
I think you got to capture him saying George W. Bush saying, "Welcome to the Big Bad World."
We got him. We got that. I hope I'll have to mention if it's okay for us to do that, but I'll ask him.
There you go.
So you want to end this puppy, or should we?
Yeah,
puppy.
We should end the show.
Let's end the puppy.
So, welcome. Goodbye for the Big Bad Broadcast, and we will see you next week. It's John Ferrantino.
Mike Grief. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Craig Mitchell. The air.
And that's right. You can catch us on the Roku Act, Strong Island TV, which is on your Fire Stick. You can catch us on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook. You can catch us on our website, thebBBRadio.com.
Catch us if you can.
Week. Until next week, we'll all be here unless they catch Mike from stealing those monkeys.
Yeah, no monkeys.
They'll never take me alive. My monkeys will fight to the death.